This video is meant for adults. Not that children couldn't hear it, but that's dependent upon the parents. So use your discretion on that. But I'm stating right off the bat here that this is made for adults. It's 12:22 p.m. 12:22 p.m. Friday, July 31st, 2020. 2009 is when my metaphysical abilities started to kick in. That's the true awakening, not all this garbage all these idiots are talking about, running around like fools in the street. But a person becoming aware of who they really are, not prejudices others are trying to put upon them. It's sick what's going on right now, but it's okay because it's not going to be happening much longer. I say that, but it's all contingent on when I get out of this body. Anyway, I've said that since I started talking with people, as I started metaphysically coming alive, that 2020 is going to be a year of great change. This is not what I meant. In 2010, I had an even stronger understanding of that being true, but all of that, along with all of that, those thought processes, as I got stronger and developed, there was a relative factor there that I would be out of this body at the latest December of 2018, the very latest. When we look at each other, we see a body. You look at me, you see a tired old man who wants to die. I mean, that's whatever that's going. And of course, I want this body to die so I can be free. Who you are inside is your spirit. That's who you really are, the spirit that was placed inside a physical body to have a life. Now, as your spirit goes through the body and uses the brain and everything else, you're actually creating, in tandem with the physical brain, the physical body, a new personality. When your body dies, that personality becomes part of you. You take it with you. You don't die. The body dies. But that's part of your evolution as spirit, sentient energy. Sometimes when people have a hard time understanding that, I point out excuse me, I try to point out some simple facts. When you go to a doctor and you get an EKG or EEG, whatever, what makes all those little electrical bumps and everything? It's electrical impulses coming from the body. The quantitative electroencephalogram. What's that? Well, the quantitative electroencephalogram is reading energy output from coming out of your body. Well, where does your body get its energy? It has to have some kind of power source, like everything else. You know, you don't have a cord attached or a body or a battery that you just plug in, but you do have a power source, and that's who you really are as spirit. And who you are talking through your body is you as spirit with the human body you're talking through. So it modifies it puts a different accent on who you actually are. You can spice up a meal. It's still a meal, but you put different spices on it. It changes its character a little bit, that's all. But that's how your body keeps going. People say, I've asked them, well, what do you think makes your body run? I said, well, the brain. I said, okay, well, what makes the brain run? Oh, okay, well, it's the heart. How does the heart keep going? Or, you plug it in at night? No, of course. I'm not trying to be silly, or stupid, or make anyone feel either of those things or anything else. I'm trying to help people understand the reality of who they are and what's going on. There's been radical change on the other side. The original first being male and female. The original first being that split itself into two for company, male and female. They're both dead. First fight was July 10th, about a bit after 10 at night. I think it was about 10:20, 10:19, 10:23. And they lost a portion of themselves. I can't remember if it was a third or 2/3 of them. And then May 23rd of 2013. That was July 10th of 2012. And then May 23rd of 2013 is when the rest of them was destroyed. Both of them. Anyway, it's hard for me to, make these videos, and I've said so much over the years. And those people that have been following me for years, you've watched me grow and become stronger, and you all do the same thing, especially as you become aware of who you are and your abilities come alive. That's who you are. And when you understand how many lives you've had, reincarnation, you understand you've had many lives in all the bodies. I've had more lives than anyone else in a dark-skinned body. So I understand what it's like to be every race of being on this planet, but that's nothing. This Earth has only been around so long, and most of you have had a minimum hundreds of thousands of lives, and some of them actually as much as 1 trillion. A couple people a little more. Some people have essence spirit within them. That they're over 2 trillion lives old. And that's not years, that's lives, individual lives. So the years you've been alive in different bodies is much more. And also the length, the extended period of years that you were alive is relative to the size of the planet you're on. The larger planets, we tend to live longer lives. But they're expressed in the same daily kind of cycle. The years, a year on Jupiter, if you lived on Jupiter, a year there would be totally different. A small fraction of what a year would be here, because Jupiter turns so slow, it takes a long time for it to turn around. Let me see if I said that right. If you've had 100, if you lived to be 80 on this planet, the amount of time it would take for the Earth to spin that quick in that 80 years would be much smaller if you were on a planet the size of Jupiter. Anyway, this thing about 2020, that's relative. That's relative, but because it's depending on this body dying and myself coming out with this part of me attached to it. People can say, oh, that Jay, he's nuts, he's insane. No, I've put myself through a rehab center. I signed the paperwork, so you think I'm nuts, lock me up. They were kind of freaking out about me down there. I talk about energy and stuff like that, Anyway, you're not the person you see in the mirror. You're the spirit inside that body that also goes through that body doing things, your metaphysical abilities. The more you use them, the more it enhances who you are as a person. You gain another, like, personality, learn things. But there's just been too much abuse all the time, and that's what's stopping. That stuff might as well be, well, it's going to be deleted. There's no other way to say it. It's difficult for me to talk. That's why I've made some videos, just typing some words and putting them against the few water shots, the surf shots that I have when Deanna and I were in Hawaii. There's Source on the other side, young Source, that's really screwing up. They do things they don't understand what they're doing. They don't know, and some of them are just aggressive and want to be. They're aggressive. They're arrogant. They feel it's their turn to be worshipped. As I run into them when they bother me, then I delete them. Gone. The other side, right now, there's no one controlling it, so you have a bunch of, good people that are laying back doing nothing, just waiting for me to get out of this body and come home and just literally take over. My other half, Lily, she's the coolest thing in the world. She's asleep right now and protected, but she's very loving, very healing. So anyway, all this stuff's in all the books I've written. The Creation series is 3 books. I say all like it's 20 or 100 or something. It's not. I've only written 4 books, but I've left a lot of information. Anyway, I wanted to explain that this is not the 2020 I was talking about. These people that are dying in China, well, there's part of me outside of my body that's actually doing that. Huge dragon energy. When I'm out of here, when this body's dead and I'm gone, only on rare occasion when I feel it's proper, the situation calls for it. You'll see something just materialize. And it'll be me, and it won't be human. I mean, sometimes I might do that, but that's not the natural state of my natural frequencies. When your body passes and you go home to the other side, second dimension, right above us, 1.5 foot in front of us, kind of off to the right, and then 3 foot up. When you get there, how do your friends know? How do you know each other? All these other people everywhere. Oh, you see each other's frequencies. That's your actual name. I've had people ask me what was my name in my previous life, and I look at them and I say, wow, depending on the person, see about how many lives, and they say, well, you've had 100,000 lives, so I don't even know 1,000 names. So then you have to take the time to look at, like the last life or something. Sometimes I'd have a consult with someone, I'd already know what they want, and I just tell them. Before they ask. Anyway, everyone is special and has abilities. But with this 2020 thing, what's causing all the death is part of my own energy that's doing that, creating the situation. And he's working hard to allow, he calls himself Leo's the name he likes, and I'm like, cool. And I pulled him out of myself and sent him on his way to do some work, and so he's happy being called my son, which is kind of neat. This has to sound insane for most people. If it didn't, then I'd have to wonder how objective you're being. When we develop our own truth, we have to utilize the data banks that we secure, that we experience through that life. And then as we become aware of what's going on when our metaphysical abilities, finally become awake. I don't even like using that word anymore because of all this BS going on with this Marxist group. These Marxist groups everywhere. All that stuff, the people behind it, they're all getting shut down. That's a different story. But you'll be seeing people dropping dead. You'll see what happens when I get out of here. And, I've said for years that I'm going after China, and Leo, that part of me out there, he's hanging around in China, and he's keeping all that going. The thing is, though, what I was mentioning earlier is that you can drop a body, and it can just shut down, very happy, just relax, just go, 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 and boom, then fall and be dead. There's no suffering, there's no nothing. The spirit comes out nice and easy, and then you can destroy the area. And then that does a better job of what happens and what's going on now. It's not being done right because this young source running around on the other side, some of them arrogant, controlling, and some of them just totally ignorant. So I've been trying to get out of this body since August 28th of 2015. And I set myself up twice to get out. I've never hurt myself, hello. I've never done any physical harm like that to myself, but twice I should have been gone and I was kept here. It's really hard for this body to die because the stronger your energy is, and especially when you're source and you bond to the body stronger, then the more you're stuck in it. These bodies are like, I don't like the word perfect, but these bodies, if there were something perfect, they would be the perfect jails, the perfect prisons for spirit to be put in. So I've been saying there's going to be a lot of death. I talked about China, and I started talking about this a long time ago. I don't mean a few years, I mean a long time. So I didn't start waking up strong. My metaphysical abilities didn't really come alive until 2009 and 20. Like I said earlier, in 2010 is when I was really getting strong. That's when I got in a fight with the original male half of the male half of the original first being. And in his head, his thought, he was talking with the female part, the female half, and then she said, "Wow, look how fast, Arae's getting strong," talking about me. They couldn't see me. I could listen to him, laugh at him and everything, and then show myself and freak him out. So anyway, she said, "Look how fast he's growing." And then he said, he didn't say anything, but in his head he thought, "Yeah, I'll take care of that tonight." And no joke, that night when I woke up the next morning, I didn't know who I was. I knew I was in a house. It was okay. It's a normal house. And I had a few different, strong friends, spirit. It's people come up to me and say, "It's okay. Everything's fine. Just relax. Take it easy. You've been through something. Everything's going to make sense real soon. Just relax." And it did, but it almost, for the moment, it destroyed my ability to see anything. So I had to redevelop that as time went on, but I had to go around this section right here on the inside of the brain, about that far deep. That allows your cognitive abilities physically to adapt with the messages you get metaphysically. So But that's okay. I was made a long time ago to, by the original first ones to serve and protect, but to protect them. So I had to be strong enough to kill anything. And after having a lot of lives, all of us get a lot stronger. So that's what happened. I'm no better than nothing else. None of us are any better than anyone else. We're not better than each other. The only time better has any value is when you're enhancing who you already are. Self-improvement. So anyway, the 2020 I was talking about is after I've already had the time since at least the end of 2018 to go out and go to everything everywhere. And those people that shouldn't be in bodies because they have the concentration of lower frequencies is too high, then just pull them out and give them their own little dimension to live in. And if there's if they're an issue they want to keep abusing, then just delete them. We're missing over 80% of this. The last time you were out of body, unless you were a very young child, the last time you were out of body, when you go back, like right now, there's over 80% of the spirit, as far as volume, size, total amount of spirit, sentient energy, over 80% of it's gone. There was some big source over there, including the original first being male and female, and they're dead. There's been a war going on. That's a lot of that's covered in book 2 of the Creation series. You can get it at Amazon.com, J. Essex Creation, and then it's books 1, 2, and 3. Then there's a rune book that helps you with rune images, rune cards, really help you out. But the way to do it properly, and the way my son Leo's doing it, this golden dragon out there, is when people are about ready to die, you just literally put them in a euphoric state and let them die. The way to do it properly is like the Sega antelope. Okay, that was me coming out of the body, going down to 2015. February is when I brought it up in March. That early March is when I did it. And I say I, not Jay. There's no Jay floating around. It's who I am inside, just like who you are inside. Is spirit, sentient energy. We're not these bodies. Anyway, so I took out half the population of Sega antelope in Kakistan. And they went home, but the thing is by taking the bacteria that protect them, excuse me, turn that fan off. By taking the bacteria that protected them and turning it around to attack them. So it's like the part of the immune system, the biggest part of it, attacks the body instead of saving it. But it happens smooth and soft. There's no pain, no suffering, and you just lay down and die. Well, that's relative to how it's supposed to be. Now, I've showed you in other recent videos, that one doctor in New York, he went in there, people were talking on there, he was talking to critically ill people that had this CCP virus. They call it COVID-19, but it was actually produced by the CCP. It was a natural occurring virus, and they weaponized it. And then now they've been talking with they've already done something with the Wuhan viral place, whatever, where they do that stuff, where they're going to start using it as a biochemical and everything. They were doing that the whole time. All this is going to be stopped. People are not going to be running around with masks the rest of their life. But anyway, so the people, like I was saying, with the people with the like in New York, they were critically ill. This doctor came in, and the video's up there. If you check the last 2-3 videos I put out, 4 videos, whatever it is, that he was reading the oxygen level that the people have, and the oxygen level was down to nothing. 98%, 97% is fine. You get down to 90%, 92%, then you have some issues. You get down to 50%, you're about to die. Well, the doctor was reading the oxygen levels, and they were down at 50%. And at that point, all you should be able to do is just sit there and maybe drool and breathe and then shut down. You know, the body shuts down, it dies. But to his, you know, he was so surprised. He documented that people were talking on their cell phones. You couldn't even tell that they were sick. He said they didn't even know it until all of a sudden, boom, they shut down. And he said it's horrible, and it pissed me off. I'm like, what do you mean horrible? That's a gift to have gotten that virus and then go, you know, have that happen. If you're going to die, I mean, it's not a gift to, you know, for killing someone. I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm saying is if you're sick like that, then to not suffer is great. And then the less suffering there is on the person, then the family suffers less. So it takes away a lot of the abuse floating around. These physical bodies were made to be a problem, and they always have been. And I've said less than 2,000 years from now, you're not going to have any more. There'll be very few physical bodies anywhere. Anyway, that's all that stuff's in the books. I just wanted to say, because I've always talked about 2020, and I said there's going to be people dying. This is not what I was talking about. Not at all. So, when I get out of here, certain people need to be controlled, like a puppet. I've showed you pictures of the... hold on just a minute. Let me go... let me go get the picture. Alrighty then. This is what I'm talking about. These pictures, I better give you the heads up. I've already said quite a few times, already copyrighted and everything. No good at this. Alright, that's the hypothalamus. That's what actually controls the brain and its functions right there. And then this thing right above it, that's the lower crown. And then this other yellow thing that goes like that is the middle crown, which is like a lens, and then there's the upper crown. It's mostly right, the purple thing here, and then it goes up like that, where it opens up, comes out. Then this other thing here, this thing over there, that's an energy filter. It's like a sponge that catches strong emotion spikes, so that the rest of you, as it's floating out of your body, is not having to deal with your emotions, you know, spiking it, because the rest of your body is spirit, your spirit body that's not stuck inside you, which is, you know, the smallest piece of you is actually in that body. It's one reason why you can't break out. It is flowing everywhere, second dimension and then third dimension here. But what happens is, like the angels, find a way to do this. The angels would go down. They go through into the upper crown. The angels used to, when they were around, down through this the middle or second crown, and then through the lower crown, and then they go right into the hypothalamus. And once there, if any spirit puts in the thought and the intention, at that point you're controlled. If your angel said, slap yourself in the face hard, or beat yourself in the head with the door, or take your head and bang it into the corner of the door jamb, and you do that, well, he did it to you. I mean, if he tells you to, you're going to do it. Excuse me. So once you get into the hypothalamus gland, you can control the person. I'm going to control a lot of people to do a lot of things that, important people. And they'll be talking about things that they've done. Not just immoral, but illegal and everything else. Things that would hurt a large group of people. Just to reiterate the point for the whole video, because I got to turn this thing off. The whole point is that when I've talked about everything starts getting better in 2020, and there would be some hard change. Well, you're going through hard change, all right, but it's not being done properly, and it's because I'm still stuck in this body. As soon as I come out, it'll change. Okay, there's no wow, Jay, or something. No, that's bull. Okay, that's a load of crap. That's how things are. That's how things have been. The other side was run by the original first being male and female, and when you walk by them or they walk by you, you had better put out those feelings, emit those frequencies that are relative to submission and bowing and, oh, you're so much better than me. If your spirit, sentient energy, remember you don't have a body, if you didn't emit those frequencies from your energy core, then you were in trouble. So nothing was able to kill over there except for myself and Arae, the thing that I came from. And I was almost always in a body trying to get strong enough to the point where I got for this life, where I could take on everything and bring around total change. Arae, except for a few teeny little pieces of them. It's like you get rid of a cloud, there's a couple little raindrops hanging around, he's dead. There's another really nasty large female source that used to live, and her name is Lydia. And there's a couple little teeny drops of her. As soon as I'm out of this body, both of them, they're gone. But there's other source over there too. But the old source was the problem. Now Lilith and Arae are two other ones that are around from the beginning, and they're fine. They'll be coming back. They're frozen and. Except for part of Arae is out running around right now, but Lilith, for the most part, is just, it's like put to sleep. It's done to protect her, and just like Lily, my better half, she's the same way. Until I get out of here, because I need to protect her. Anyway, this stuff isn't going to happen. Look in the streets. You see compassion, equality. You have people telling you how you must think and trying to destroy your life or kill you, because that's happened, unless you submit and obey. Wow. And they're bringing equality? No, the equality's going to happen. People can say what they want. I don't care. I never have. I care about them, but not so much the words coming out of their mouth. It's a means for me to understand without having to go in their heads how they feel about something. Someone says something and you look at them and hear them and you use your natural metaphysical abilities to see, do you agree with what they're saying? Is it natural? No. Is it a lie? Yada yada. There's supposed to be destruction, but people are also, except for the people that are abusers, they're going to go down hard and heavy. They're going to suffer. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what they want to. That's what they've been doing to others and killing others. They're going down hard, and nothing can stop me. Oh, the sick body Jay thing. Please come on over here. Drop this thing down dead. You know. I've wanted out for a long time. As soon as I get out, things change. So, anyway, that was hard enough for me to get that out. I need to. All right. Well. As I said, destruction and death and stuff was coming for the people that need to go. But it's supposed to be done properly and calmly, without any pain, suffering, or worried whatsoever. And because we have some source issues on the other side, young children that don't know what to do, and it's like Leo that came from me just recently, past few years. When you release part of your energy, and all you can do this, every soul, everybody, you release a part of yourself. When that comes out, it has your character, your, if you want to call it metaphysical or spiritual DNA, but it's new. It has to build its own experiences up, develop itself. It doesn't have the benefit of all your many lives and everything else, just a basic idea about this or that. This person has to, to live, to experience, to finish developing the character. They basically are who they are, but their database and understanding of things, that takes time. So Leo's doing real good, but these other ones on the other side, as I find them, I delete them, but I can't see them all. And this body is dying, it just won't quit. So anyway, the time's coming. All this is going to pass. There are not going to be people walking around with masks on this planet. Short time after I'm gone, COVID, the rest of the stuff is just going to go. It's going to go away. Just like the people that don't need to be here. People that have too high a percentage of lower frequencies. Everyone that's 37% or more is gone. Kill the spirit, the body drops dead, and that's it. It's not just this planet, it's all throughout creation. It's changing. So, but that's why I said in book number 3, in the beginning of it, before you got to the actual book part of it, I said that all the events in it, they're relative to myself being gone, but being out of this body and free, so I can do my thing. You have such a small portion of your metaphysical abilities, your natural self, available to you when you're in a body. It's like I've said before. The analogy of a tuning fork is very efficient. You take a tuning fork and knock it into something and put it up to your ear, you hear a beautiful pitch, a beautiful tone. And then you do that again, where you can hear it and real quickly dip it in some motor oil, tar grease for the house, whatever, dip it in there and see what happens. Well, that's what it's like when you're in a body. So things are going to change. And the people that need to be run to straighten to bring into public what's been going on. All this crap here lately, trying to create the Communist Party of America, trying to put out its final show. It doesn't go by that name. They're just a bunch of dams. It's sad. All that's going to change. It's all going to change. So it's all going to be taken away. You cannot have a creation of compassion, honor, and equality if you have idiots like this running around trying to control you and run you. So when someone starts yelling at you to make a point, it's apparent that they don't have a point that can stand on its own. They have to try to attack you with volume and put fear into you to make you sit back and say, okay. And inside, where they say to not, you're like, don't yell at me like that. Or, I want my friends to like me. You'll see it. It'll happen. So I don't care who gets elected and what happens. Anything that's done. But when I finally do get out of here, I'll turn it around if I need to. So Trump is from Lily and I, the spirit inside him. He's Source. He's real strong, and he's done an incredible job, and he's got a lot of work to do. He's not done yet. So, and Elon Musk, he's got a lot of stuff he's going to do that's important. A lot of your big ones, they're going. So, Apple and Amazon, all the rest of them, they're all going to be replaced. So, Google, you'll see. And then with Deanna and her family, you'll find out very soon. You'll be, after I'm gone, a few months after that, you're going to see them around in the water in some of our boats. Some of them very large, with ETs, with ships flying next to them over the water. So we've been talking with them for a long time. I've been very close with them for a long time. My last life as Gandhi, we talked a lot. I used to get rides and all, take off with them, sometimes a week and a half, 2 weeks at a time. A long time ago, what was my name back then? Enoch. That stuff they put in these religious books that I said and everything, that's bull. That's bull. I never wrote anything. It's all made up. Other people wrote it. But I did take off on ships all the time. Anyway, whatever. This isn't about me. It's about what's going on. And I don't want you all to be thinking that, your life, now everyone's going to be wearing masks and the U.S. is going to be turned communist and everything. No, it's not. China, Leo, that part of me and myself, when I come out at night, China's going to finish going down. It's hard for what's hanging out of me to do much of anything, because the more I use it, the more it still adheres to this body, so I can't do much. So Leo's doing almost everything out there. But the stuff that's being done wrong, improperly, too aggressive, is younger Source. That's being stupid, arrogant, ignorant. So you'll see the change. I don't know how much longer this body can be made to keep going. I talk and people say, oh, he's going to last for 100 years. No, that ain't happening, but sooner or later, it's going to have to happen, period. So, compassion, honor, equality, that's what's coming. And it's not going to come from a bunch of idiots telling you how you have to live your life, how you have to talk. Lots of times people say, well, God's going to have to do this. Well, your God is dead. But the alpha male and female, especially the alpha male, his name's Arae, that stuff ain't going to fly. It doesn't fly. Ain't going to happen. All this abuse and everything I'm talking about, that just, no. That's going. You'll see it. You'll watch it. I just got to get out of here. And I'm not trying to stay. Like I said, I set myself up twice to get out of here, and no one had anything to do with that. That was just me. Pure me. So, and these other illustrations and stuff that Deanna and I built, she'll make a book of them eventually, but as soon as until I get out of here, Deanna's got her hands full. I mean, what little I can do to help. I mean, it's just, we couldn't do necklaces. She couldn't do necklaces anymore. That's why we're only selling the spheres. But when you have powerful source energy in there, and the strongest thing there is what's inside me and Lily, but Lily's asleep, but the closest thing to her, right now, her energy, believe it or not, is it's Deanna. Sorry, I'm seeing something while I'm talking. So when Deanna and I, what I'm trying to say is when Deanna and I put our energies into these spheres and stuff, crank them up, that's strong. It stays there forever. It'll never come out. The only way it can ever come out is for me to take it out. You can bombard them with uranium and put uranium in there, but my energy still be in there. Deanna's too. So anyway, folks, like I always say and like I always mean, I love you. I can't do any more than what I've already done, other than a few other things I'm doing right now, or Leo's doing, but you'll see as soon as I get out of this body. This 2020 is not the one I talked about. There's similarities, but no, things, when you leave your body, unless you've been abusive, you need to be leaving. I don't mean you've been mean once or twice in your life. I'm talking about people you look at and you say they're nasty and they've been hurting people. They're going to suffer on the way out. Period. Little gift from Arae to them. So, but as many people as possible that are sick and going, the good ones, there as many as possible of them are being helped to go without pain. But it'll be right after I get out of here. And stay away from the idiots in the street. So, and if you happen to be one of those people, I got a suggestion for you. Try to relax, sit down, take some deep breaths, and think about what you're saying and what you're doing. Because you will see me a few times make a solid body, and I am not human. And anything I can find like that that's going on, I'll be there for a few moments. That's all it'll take. Then you're going to need something big to scoop the bodies out of the street. That's why the ETs haven't come down yet. They're waiting for me to clean up. I'm just going to stop all of it. Everywhere. And as soon as that happens, and the animals, I'm taking all the animals too, but the pets are staying till the last ones to go are going to be the pets that are being taken care of. But after that happens, while that's happening, the ETs will be coming in. And then the technology and everything, and all these people that have some money, those that I don't get rid of, their money's going to be worth nothing. Because the whole system's going to change. So, and those that have money and have been using it to try and create a Marxist country, a socialist country, a communist country out of America, I've spent a lot of lives and watched a lot of good people suffering in body creating this country. I was there in the beginning of it. You all will lose everything you have, your precious money, and then while that's happening too, you're going to suffer. And then I'm going to delete you. So, but the rest of y'all, I do love everyone and everything, but as soon as you abuse someone else, it just cuts it. Just, that's it. You have no more rights. you are subject to delusion. You're told once to stop, you don't, then see you. But those of you that have been doing that here in body, that you don't have any options. You're just waiting. What they used to call that, dead man walking or something. So, folks, love you, take care, and you'll see. You'll see for yourself.